Odell Beckham Jr., his teammate, said, "The thing is, people don't get to where they're at by not being who they were to get here. I don't believe in fixing anybody. Improving somebody is definitely more the word that I would say. I think myself as well had a slice of humble pie this year because I was hurt all year. So I don't think there's really changing anybody, but I definitely think you'll see a more focused, improved version of himself, not what someone else wants him to be, and myself as well next year." You guys were there for the interview on Friday and sort of took it in but weren't involved in the conversation. What did you think of it, Nick?
I love what Odell said. I was saddened, frankly. After the Baker interview, we all got together, man, Baker really gets it, and everyone was so happy. I didn't say anything because at the moment, I was like, no, I like the old Baker. I was so disappointed that the season didn't go well for him because he was different and he was being himself. And he's not going to be a new person. Odell's right. He's going to be the same person. He's just going to be like the rest of the quarterbacks and not say the stuff that we love. And I loved when he was saying that stuff. And I'm not sure if he was taking a shot there at Rex or not, but I hope he was. I hope that he keeps a little bit of that old Baker inside of him going.
And that's always going to be there. That personality that he has, the bravado, his passion is always going to come out. But it reminds me a little bit back, when Tony Romo took over in Dallas in 2006, his style of play, the personality, the freewheeling nature that he had, those things are never going to go away. But Bill Parcells talked to him and said, okay, this is how we've got to tighten it up. We're the starting quarterback now, and these are the expectations that are placed upon you. So instead of completely reinventing yourself, it's a little bit of polish, Neek.
I understand.
Buff that rock up.
I understand that, but there is nothing, no one can tell me how this makes your team better or worse. How talking to the media, how talking trash to Rex Ryan, how being ostentatious in general, how this makes your team any worse. It makes the game more entertaining. It gives us more characters. It makes it more fun. I don't think that I like the old Baker, and I hope that he plays well enough in the first few games that he comes out firing and talking trash again because I miss him.
Here's the reality. Is we always want these guys to be honest. We want to see their personality for all of the warts. And then when they show it to us, we shred them. We sandpaper their face.
Here's what I'll say, and I want to bring Schefter in on this thought as well, is that in the conversation, we talked about there's a difference between change and evolving, right? There's a change and evolution.
Agreed.
It doesn't mean he's going to become a different human being, but perhaps you evolve a little bit into something if you felt this wasn't working. Schefter, what did you take away from all of it?
I think he's going to be smarter in the things he says. I think there are certain things. Look, he wants to fire up his team and he wants them to be at their best, but there are certain issues that he got involved in last year that he'd be best off not getting involved in this year and beyond. I think of the one with Duke Johnson, where the Browns are having a contract issue with Duke Johnson. And one player should never speak on another man's business publicly. If he wants to have words about that, he's got feelings he'd like to express, he always can go to Duke Johnson. He doesn't have to say that publicly. He doesn't have to view all of his viewpoints in the media every time he's asked. And I think for what he went through last year, he'll be smarter about what he says this year.
I also think that he was placed in a position that was really not reasonable.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people who made these decisions were fired. But based upon the total absence of another person with NFL credibility, he became the leader. And it's all well and good to have that personality. But when that personality is sort of speaking for the whole organization, I think that's where you start having the problems. If there was a veteran presence, if the coach of that team was someone who'd been around forever as opposed to someone that had been the running backs coach a year before, I think the personality plays differently.
Right. I mean, maybe you're right, but no one ever links that to how that actually becomes a bad thing. We're not used to it and we don't like it. It makes us uncomfortable. So I liked it. I wish he would have had success. I don't think Freddie Kitchens was necessarily the right person, but I would have liked to keep it going. And I don't buy into the idea that he's evolved. He's just masking.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.